What is up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. 9:30 in the morning. Get your coffee, get your tea. Good morning. Having a great morning. Let's see. Whoops. Tagged the wrong place. Whoops. Lullaby time. There we go. What is up, Gina? Hi, Annie. How are you? Again, good to see all you guys. Let me do something really quick. I'm going to share this intro, and then we're going to get into our discussion. Love Wild Nights. Thank you there, Danielle. Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Back in their dorms after being evacuated in the middle of the night last night. They were woken up in the middle of the night because of a nearby crime scene. Crime 2 has actually been at the Palouse and on the Palouse since 6 o'clock this morning, covering this breaking news. Janelle Finch is picking up our coverage now with reaction from students tonight. Janelle?
I've been in Pullman for hours, keeping a close watch on the crime scene just below me. Earlier today, we weren't exactly sure what apartment the situation happened in, but now in the dark of night, only one apartment on the 3rd floor is shining bright. So we can potentially assume that that is where the situation happened. And as you can see, there is still crime tape up here at the scene just hours after police shot and killed a man during a SWAT standoff. Wednesday night, WSU students living near campus say they were preparing for their last day of finals.
We had been finishing final papers in my apartment. We finished around, they were due at midnight, right? Midnight, yeah. So we finished around midnight. We were leaving to go get food.
But when university students Kylie Canyon Brewer and Madison Barbon walked out the door, they ran into an unexpected situation.
We walked out. She walked out first. There was just a ton of people in the hallway, cops.
Pullman police responded to their neighbor's apartment at the complex just off of Stadium Way around 8:40 p.m. According to Pullman police, a man in his 30s was threatening to kill his 2 roommates. Police evacuated the building, and WSU alerted students to shelter in place. Police say the suspect's behavior escalated, and he began firing gunshots in his apartment.
At the time, I thought it was just really just fireworks or something like that, but very startling to hear.
Students living on campus nearby say it was scary to know how close they were to an active SWAT situation. The Pullman police chief says after the suspect would not comply, a SWAT member shot and killed him.
As a student, it's very scary. You don't really know, who people are sometimes, especially it being a really big school. So you never really know if you're close to danger or, where the safe places are on campus.
Yeah. So we finished around midnight.
For their last day of finals.
We had been finishing final papers in my apartment. We finished around, they were due at midnight, right? Midnight, yeah. So we finished around midnight. We were leaving to go get food.
But when university students Kylie Canyon Brewer and Madison Barbon walked out the door, they ran into an unexpected situation.
We walked out. She walked out first. There was just a ton of people in the hallway, cops.
Pullman police responded to their neighbor's apartment at the complex just off of Stadium Way around 8:40 p.m. According to Pullman police, a man in his 30s was off of Stadium Way around 8:40 p.m. According to Pullman police, a man in his 30s was threatening to kill his 2 roommates. Police evacuated the building, and WSU alerted students to shelter in place. Police say the suspect's behavior escalated, and he began firing gunshots in his apartment.
At the time, I thought it was just really just fireworks or something like that, but very startling to hear.
Students living on campus nearby say it was scary to know how close they were to an active SWAT situation. The Pullman police chief says after the suspect would not comply, a SWAT member, Madison Barbon, walked out the door. Kylie Canyon Brewer
food.
But when university students Kylie Canyon Brewer and Madison Barbon walked out the door, they ran into an unexpected situation.
We walked out. She walked out first. There was just a ton of people in the hallway. Cops.
Pullman police responded to their neighbor's apartment at the complex just off of Stadium Way around 8:40. At the complex just off of
She walked out first. There was just a ton of people in the hallway. Cops.
Pullman police responded to their neighbor's apartment at the complex just off of Stadium Way around 8:40 p.m. According to Pullman police, a man in his 30s was threatening to kill his 2 roommates. Police evacuated the building, and WSU alerted students to shelter in place. Police say the suspect's behavior escalated, and he began firing gunshots in his apartment.
At the time, I thought it was just really just fireworks or something like that, but
Okay. How many times was Brent shot? Let's see something here. One second. There we go. All right. I haven't even had a coffee yet. Well, get that coffee flowing. Oh, what's up? Is Doc here? Good morning, Doc. There you go. It's so early in California. It is. It is so early. Okay. So this gentleman says he thought he heard fireworks. Okay. So multiple shots. I'm just curious. I'm trying to get any of the reports of how many times did they say that they shot? Did it just take them one shot to take out Mr. Brent Kapaka? Did it just take them one shot? Was it multiple shots? I was able to find an article where there is actually an Asian sorority on WSU's campus. I don't know if you guys know this, but I didn't know. And it's probably like, I don't know, 8 to 10 people. And I was able to track down a girl that lived in the building, to live in this building when this happened. And she was part of the, I want to say it correctly. So I want to say Chi Sigma sorority. And I hit her up in the DMs. No, I didn't hit her up in the DMs. It's going down in the DMs. She was interviewed. So I'm going to pull this up. She was interviewed because she was trying to get out of her lease, and the school was not being helpful. She was trying to get out of her lease, and the school wasn't being helpful about it. So there's a girl that lives in this building. She was part of it, or still is part of the Chi Sigma WSU sorority. So instead of like Sigma Chi, it's like the opposite way. And and so she was interviewed. But so she hasn't been living in this apartment, but yet paying for it. Okay. She's like paying her monthly, but not living there. And which is complete just craziness to me. So that means like she's paying for like another place as well. But people were concerned for their safety, and the school was just like not even getting back to these people. You guys, there's only 35 apartments in this building. 35. Okay. You don't think that it's important to handle something like this and handle the people and meet their needs, and if they want to be reassigned and relocated within, this is school housing. And it was stuff like, if you're not getting deployed, you're not getting out of your lease. And I thought that was ironic for what Brent had done. But yeah, you basically had to get deployed in order to get out of this. So I'm going to read something that I think is interesting. According to this article in February of 2023, so just back a couple months ago, it would have been like almost 2 months since the incident. This article reported that Brent said that he was going to kill his roommates and everybody in the building, not just his roommates. That was the first that I ever heard of that he threatened to kill everybody in the building. The article makes it seem like the person that's being interviewed said that, but really the person that was being interviewed did not say that. So I'm curious to know, and I'm working on figuring out where they got that information from, but that was the first I've ever heard of that Brent said that he was going to kill everybody in the building. Now, according to this, you hear the girl say, we came out, we were working on a paper, it was due by midnight, and that we sent our paper out and that they were hungry, and so they're coming out of their dorms or whatever this is, just apartment, and that there was all these people in the apartment. And then cops. She says all these people, and then you hear cops. And it's very choppy. So they basically took this girl's interview. They have a lot of footage on this. And this girl clearly was being interviewed, but this news outlet decided to only put out certain things from what she said. And she was saying that there was people out in that hallway, and this happened at midnight. And then it was like there was a lot of people, and then all of a sudden you hear cops, like the way that it's clashed up like that. And you could tell that it's mashed up together versus like that was a naturally flowing. That's editing. That's why I was running it back a couple different times there. So now this guy says that he thought he heard fireworks. Now, does he live in the building? Because check this out.
And WSU alerted students to shelter in place. Police say
what time was the shelter in place? Okay, because these girls come out. The cops are already there. She's saying at midnight. The cops are there at midnight. And these girls come out. So I'm going to check my notes again on when was the WSU alert? Because I believe it was in the middle of the night at like 4 o'clock in the morning, or maybe that was when you could like go back in. Like I said, I want to double check my notes.
Say the suspect's behavior escalated and he began firing gunshots in his apartment.
At the time, I thought it was just really just fireworks or something like that, but very startling to hear.
Students living on campus nearby say it was scary to know how close they were to an active SWAT situation. The Pullman police chief says after the suspect would not comply, a SWAT member shot and killed him.
As a student, it's very scary. You don't really know, who people are sometimes, especially it being in a really big school. So you never really know if you're close to danger or.
This guy is 36 years old. Okay, they're interviewing like a 19-year-old here. Exactly. So this kid, when he was being interviewed, he has no idea at the time what's going on, and he's being interviewed. This was December 15th, right after, this happened. He's over here. You never know who well, did you even know he was 36 years old? And the guy's, I guarantee he's going to be like, no, I thought he was a student, you know? Well, maybe he was a student. We don't know. And WSU will never be able to talk about that because that's protected. But they're interviewing a freshman. Nobody even knows. Like, they didn't announce who this person was at the time. They did a press release with the police after this. No roommates has come forward to be interviewed in any type of capacity. I know that one of his friends, Brent's friends, spoke on YouTube because he was sick and tired of hearing that his friend was involved in the Idaho4 murders. I'm here to talk about has your friend ever done this before? Like, why isn't anybody investigating how this went down? And so basically the police version is that he basically shot at them, and then therefore they had to shoot him because they got into an active shootout, because this guy's talking about multiple shots, that he heard multiple shots. Well, if it only took them one shot to kill in the head Brent, the shots that would be fired from Brent inside that apartment, where were they landing? Where are the shell casings? Where's everything like that? Because here you have somebody saying that they heard multiple shots. So then that would be, you're saying that Brent was shooting at you, and then therefore you shot at him. How could something escalate when he let everybody go, when everybody was cleared out of the apartment, including the roommates and including everybody that lived there? That sounds like it's de-escalating to me when you're letting people go. How long were these roommates, hostage? How did anybody alert, a 911 call that would have come in? Because as soon as this isn't considered an open and active investigation, then this should all be coming out. How come we can have the school shooting that happened in Nashville, literally the body cam, everything to do with that, the next day we have all this body cam footage from the police going into that school, and we can't get anything on this? Nobody's like, where's the media? Where's mainstream media? This is an ex-vet. I mean, where is anybody that's other ex-vets saying, how, you just shot and killed one of our brothers? How are they not outraged? I'd be outraged. Somebody that's deployed and is overseas and fighting for our country, and they make it through something like that and they don't get killed, only to find out that they get killed in something like this. And immediately you have Idaho, Moscow, coming right out and saying that these two incidences have nothing to do with one another. How do you know that so quickly? If investigations take time, and you're contradicting yourself by even saying that, by saying, how do you know within a day or two that these two incidents have nothing to do with one another? How do you know that? I would just love to know how you could possibly rule that out when you're telling me that these type of investigations take time. Did you speak with the roommates that were threatened? Did you speak with Brent's roommates? Did you pull up everything to do with Brent? Because should that be in the discovery that Ann Taylor received? Everything that they did to exclude that this was connected to the Idaho4 case? That would be in discovery, right? If you had to investigate it to the point that you're saying that it has nothing to do with the other thing, right? So that should be in discovery. So Ann Taylor, in my opinion, should have a ton of shit about this case, in my opinion. And if I'm Ann Taylor, I'd be asking a million and one questions about this case because, let's be honest, they're right down the street from each other. It happens within a month of one another, and it involves roommates being, targeted in a sense, and somebody being killed in their apartment, in their own apartment. Okay, you hear about people getting killed a lot of places, but here you have two, people's house. Like it's happening in their house. It's happening in the middle of the night. But if you went out there on the record to say that these two incidents have nothing to do with one another, then I'm expecting that you had some type of investigation to clear publicly that they didn't, and therefore that would be in your discoverable material, which Ann Taylor would have. So, so my guess is that she'd have a shit ton of information on this gentleman and the two roommates. And if she doesn't, then something's off. So here's this article. Again, February 6, 2023. After coming back from winter break, many WSU students are excited to get back to their independent lives and homes, but not all of them share this feeling. Coming back made me anxious and scared, said WSU student Jaslyn Santagal. Santagal is one of the many residents living at the Coffee House Apartments. On December 15th, 2023, there was a shooting there. The shooter had threatened to shoot his roommates and kill everyone in the building. You guys hear that? So again, I'll pull it up on the screen, but those of you guys that are listening with your ears. On December 15th, 2023, there was a shooting there. The shooter had threatened to shoot his roommates and kill everyone in the building, but was shot by a member of the Whitman County Regional SWAT team during a standoff. As residents of the Coffee House Apartments return from their break, many are faced with a difficult decision. To go back, it was just too much. Like, it gives me a lot of anxiety. I just hear like a lot of bangs. It just scares me, said Santagal. The standoff took place on the third floor, which was directly 2 floors above where Santagal lived, and could hear all the gunshots. Okay. I thought the building was cleared. Listen to this, guys. This is really, really important. I thought the building was cleared. Now, the standoff took place on the third floor, which was directly 2 floors above where Santagal lived, and could hear all the gunshots. Now, come again. If she could hear all the gunshots, that means that she was in her apartment on the first floor when this took place. Which the police have said they cleared the building. So I'm curious of how they went about clearing the building. Did they pull the fire alarm? Did they, yeah. How'd they clear the building? But this WSU student who is a sorority sister is saying in this article that she lived exactly 2 floors below. There's only 3 floors at this place. So she's on the first floor. Brent was on the third floor. Currently, Santiago is in the process of getting out of her lease, reaching out to resources such as the Dean of Students, it's Cougar Housing, and WSU Veterans Affairs. And I'm like, why would she be getting in touch with WSU Veteran Affairs? Listen up, y'all. Again, currently, this was February 6th. Currently, Jaslyn is in the process of getting out of her lease. She's reaching out to resources such as the Dean of Students, the Cougar Housing, and WSU Veteran Affairs. I tried to get in contact with them to see how they were helping students. However, the offices had no openings due to the overwhelming amount of students who also needed help. I'm kind of just stuck in this lease trying to figure it out, Jaslyn said. Santiago is still paying for her rent every month, even though she no longer stays in her apartment. Now, Santiago, I was wondering if I can sublet your apartment from you for 1 week. I'll even be kind and pay 2 weeks worth. But if Jaslyn Santiago still has this apartment here, I would like to sublet it for a week. I'd also like, if that's not an option, for you to give me a tour. I'll pay for your time. Buy you lunch. I'll let you come on my channel. Yeah, so Santiago is still paying for her rent every month, even though she no longer stays in her apartment. She says she was told the only way she can get out of her lease is by getting deployed on active duty or by subleasing her apartment. Thank you. Thank you. I am here for the taking, Miss Santiago. I would like to sublet your apartment. So when I hit her up, I asked her if she was subletting her apartment. I want to interview every single person in that building, and I'm going to do it by living in the building. So, thoughts on that? Just can't help my slyness over here. So let's back on up. Exactly. C says Nashville shooting less than 24 hours after we have all the body cams. The shooting with one person is completely suppressed. So sketch, what are they hiding? Yes, it also involves I get it, officer shooting. Oh wait, the school shooter, officer shooting. Come on, man. All right. So why was she trying to hit up the WSU Veteran Affairs for help?
After coming back from winter break, many WSU students are excited to get back to their independent lives and homes, but not all of them share this feeling.
Coming back made me very anxious and scared.
Jaslyn Santiago is one of many residents living at the Coffee House Apartments. On December 15th of last year, there was a shooting there. The shooter had threatened to kill his roommates and everyone in the building, but was shot by a member of Whitman County's regional SWAT.
They had a drone. Hold on 1 second. Because she's a vet, duh. What? Hold on, I'm going to pull something up for you guys. I don't think you guys has anybody ever put this out, but let me share this screen. It's on podcast. to share the screen. Hold on one second.
After coming back from winter break, many WSU students are excited to get back to their independent lives and homes, but not all of them share this feeling.
Coming back made me very anxious and scared.
Jaslyn Sanchigal is one of many residents living at the Coffee House Apartments. On December 15th of last year, there was a shooting there. The shooter had threatened to kill his roommates and everyone in the building, but was shot by a member of Whitman County's regional SWAT team during a standoff. As residents of the Coffee House Apartments return from break, many are faced with a difficult situation.
To go back, it was just like too much, like gives me a lot of anxiety. I just hear like a lot of bangs. It just scares me.
As you can see, I am here at the Coffee House apartment, and behind me you can see on the third floor that it is boarded, which is where the standoff happened. And that is only 2 floors above where Sanchigal was at the time. Currently, Sanchigal is in the process of getting out of her lease, reaching out to resources such as the Dean of Students. I tried to get in contact with them to see how they were helping students. However, the office had no openings due to the overwhelming amount of students who also needed help.
I'm kind of just stuck in the lease right now, still trying to figure it out.
Sanchigal is still paying for her rent every month, even though she no longer stays in her apartment. She says the only way she can get out of her lease.
These are all the girls from the Chi Sigma sorority. Notice how they're all of Asian descent. So what was that? What was everybody talking about? That Brian Koberger was seen with an Asian woman or a girl outside of his place. Gonna finish this out. I want to back up because I'm going to show you guys where the drone was.
Police is by getting deployed on active duty.
Right here. What she's reading from is like their lease agreement. Okay. The unit will be used only for housing persons listed on this rental agreement. Residents must be approved by owner, agent, and are subject to full screening procedures and fees. You cannot stay in the rental for more than 10 consecutive days or a total of 20 days in the year, by the way. All payments made by resident to owner agent are after the tenancy commences, no matter. Okay, early termination of this rental agreement is not permitted for any reason other than, and it provides a code. Upon any failure of resident to occupy the unit for the full term without properly assigning the rental agreement to a new prospect, owner agent may charge resident all of the following: all rent, unpaid fees, and other non-rent charges occurred prior to the date that owner agent knew or reasonably should have known of the abandonment. And when you pop in that code provided on RCW 59.18.220, that's what they're coming up with it. You got to get deployed or you got to pay. No animals are allowed on this premises without a signed animal agreement. And all your roommates must agree. Initial fees and animal rent may apply in ordinance with the state and local laws. Unauthorized and waterbeds are allowed. You guys, waterbeds are allowed. You have to be properly insured, though. Musical instruments are not allowed without the prior written consent of an owner. So all you bass players, all you flute lovers, not so fast. Check this out. Right here. You get a very clear, watch this.
Threatened to kill his roommates and everyone.
Right there, he sends up the drone. You see that? Who's getting this footage? Sends up the drone. No band members, but we do take vets, but no band members.
everyone in the building, but was shot by a member of Whitman County's regional SWAT team during a standoff. As residents of the coffee house apartments return from break, many are faced with a difficult situation.
To go back, it was just like too much, like gives me a lot of anxiety. I just hear like a lot of bangs. It just scares me.
As you can see, I am here at the coffee house apartment, and behind me you can see on the 3rd floor that it is boarded, which is where the standoff happened, and that is only 2 floors above where Santiago was at the time. Currently, Santiago is in the process of getting out at the time. Currently, Santiago is in the process on the 3rd floor that it
3rd floor has vaulted ceilings.
is boarded, which is where the standoff happened, and that is only 2 floors above where Santiago was at the time. Currently, Santiago is in the process.
Okay. All right, what do we think, guys? Thoughts? Okay, I'm looking at chat now. Let's see. Good morning again, everybody. Good morning. Yes. Why am I not showing up in chat? Terry, you are. Oh my God. You know what's so funny is when someone says, why am I not showing up in chat? They clearly see their name, though. I don't know why you wouldn't think you can't see it. I love it. Miley says, no water-filled furniture. Yeah. Yes, I'm offering. I'm offering. Good morning, Jamie. Okay, so let's go back to this happening right above her, you guys. I'm really kind of confused because I thought the whole building had to evacuate. So how was she able to hear everything on the 1st floor because of the 3rd floor, but you're not in the apartment? So I don't understand that. So can someone help me understand that? So was the building evacuated? Was it not? I think I need some help with that. Oh, she's eating quesadilla. Those are so yummy. You know what? I think I'm gonna go get one today. Thank you. So, anyways, she's 4'8". She's 4'8". She's really petite. Again, this is if you've noticed from the video here, her and her sorority sisters did this video. And I think it was to bring awareness to, really what's going on and how everything's being hush-hush. And she's clearly not getting any help. She wants help. She doesn't want to live there because of what happened. You would think that 35 apartment buildings, okay, so that could be a max of, if everybody has a roommate, to if you're possibly all of those are trips. I mean, you guys were talking about less than 100 people to relocate. That ain't shit. So how they could be totally like, this is who you should be attending to. So I'm doing my best to meet with the whole sorority when I'm in town, not just her, because I want to find out a lot about the sorority that they have. But more importantly, I want to find out everything that they did to try to help their friend here. I know that I have a nonprofit. There's anything that I can do to help. I've made that perfectly clear to her. I don't think any young female or male for that matter should ever go and be at school and be in college and be scared. That's just unreal. I had the best college experience, so I couldn't imagine, somebody, putting out a video like this and having this type of experience. It's horrible. And that nobody is helping. Nobody is helping her, especially if this is student housing. I mean, what the hell are y'all doing at WSU? I mean, I know that the cops like to have sex with these I don't know, informants and stuff like that, and 4 people had to like step down because of their involvement in abuse of power as a police officer. But Dawn Daniels, I think that she's really trying to do a really good job, and I think this should be brought to her attention. And so I'll be emailing Dawn Daniels today with this to say, hey, I'm just curious. I'm following up. Was this young lady helped? Or are you not helping her because she's Asian? Is there any type of problems here? But I would think that the first people that you would go to help would be anybody that would be in that building. But WSU just kind of whoop under the rug. So where is the body cam? Where's the body cam? Where's College Hill for this? How is mainstream media not all over this? Come on, News Nation. I need you guys to step up. I need you to use your networking skills and get some stuff to start being released by filing some motions with the courts. I got time to do everything, people. There's got to be some statements. I want to know some time frames. I want to know who called 911. I want to know how, where that had to come from somewhere, because it didn't come from him. He's dead. What attempts were made to, they said clear everybody out of the building. Well, this girl was telling me that she was in the building and that she could hear everything. So, I mean, unless I'm understanding it incorrectly, but we'll listen to it one more time.
After coming back from winter break, many WSU students are excited to get back to their independent lives and homes, but not all of them share this feeling.
Coming back made me very anxious and scared.
Jaslyn Sanchigal is one of many residents living at the Coffee House Apartments. On December 15th of last year, there was a shooting there. The shooter had threatened to kill his roommates and everyone in the building, but was shot by a member of
Okay, the shooter had threatened to kill his roommates and everybody in the building. How did he make that threat? How did he verbalize that? What did he do to do that? He screamed out the window, "I'm gonna kill everybody! Come get me!" I don't understand. And then again, they're saying that this escalated. If the roommates were in there, and then he let them go, I would think that this is it's beginning to de-escalate.
Whitman County's regional SWAT team during a standoff. As residents of the Coffee House Apartments return from break, many are faced with a difficult situation.
To go back, it was just like too much, like gives me a lot of anxiety. I just hear like a lot of bangs. It just scares me.
As you can see, I am here at the Coffee House Apartment, and behind me you can see on the 3rd floor that it is boarded, which is where the standoff happened. And that
Standoff?
is only 2 floors above where Sanchigal was at.
Okay, so see the window that's blown out? That's going to be so close to the door, okay? Whereas, like, if you keep on walking, like the window that's to the left of it, and then you have like that balcony with the screen slider open. So the 3rd floor definitely had the vaulted ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4 windows. Is that screen open?
and that is only 2 floors above where Santiago was at the time. Currently, Santiago
Where Santiago was at the time. Thank you. Where Santiago was at the time. Did you hear that? I think I heard that, right?
the time. Currently, Santiago that is only 2 floors above where Santiago was at the time. Currently,
So there you have it. She was in her apartment on the first floor. So what do we think about that? There you go. So we were told that the building was cleared. The roommates were cleared. Building was cleared. But here, this woman right here, young little thing, I don't know, not that old. She was in her bed. She was in her apartment. Oh, Joe, look at you. Coffee house apartment sublet fun. Can you guys imagine me over there? I'll be throwing a keg party. Did colleges still throw keg parties? Anyways, that's funny. She should not have been in the building. Well, you would think like the easiest floor to evacuate is the first floor, right? I mean, it's right there. But she's just there. And is it because she had no idea? So, and all of a sudden, like they didn't tell anybody about it, and so they just. You guys starting to hear more about how like this isn't. I mean, the one you listen to this article or you hear what I just played before. We came out of our apartment and we saw a bunch of people and cops. Like where like in the hallway, like they cut that off. Like that. This is not clipped and edited in terms of like interviewing somebody and just she's stating right here. This girl was in her apartment on the first floor and she heard the gunshots from her apartment. I don't know how that, are they outside the coffee house apartment saying with like a megaphone to say, please evacuate the building. We have a school shooter. We have an active shooter. This is an active shooter on a campus now. I mean, I have no idea. I don't go to college anymore, so I have no idea what the protocols are, but I just feel like they weren't notified. I mean, how do you notify somebody? Do you notify somebody like if the SWAT's there, when did the alert go out? But then you're telling everybody to like shelter in place. So if you get that alert to shelter in place, then why would these people leave their apartment? This makes absolutely no sense. You do know that, right? Everybody cleared the building. No, she didn't. 35 apartment door to door pounding. I'm talking about like, the alert that went off. What time did the alert go off? When did the WSU alert go off to say that this was going on? What was the wording? Because you're telling everybody to shelter in place, but that would mean that nobody would leave their apartment. Where's the body cam? 911 call. How quickly were they able to put this SWAT together? Who was the SWAT team? And who gave the call to fire? That's an order, right? This is for my solo cup. I'm coming to the party. Oh yeah. Yes, 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 right there. I've been saying this. People have their phones on them 24/7, and you're telling me there is no footage of this? There is no footage of this. No footage of this. Come on, what's the first thing that we do when we're in a restaurant and we see somebody acting a fool? Oh shit, I'm gonna get this on record. Whoop. Your building is surrounded by SWAT and you're not recording. You're telling me nobody in that bitch was streaming like Twitch or something that they could have like heard it. So I just have a couple questions for her, which would be, were you sleeping? Did the gunshots then wake you up? Did you get your alert? How do you sign up for your alert? What did the alert say? And then come to find out that the girl, because if you think about it, this happened right, they're talking about it. They had their finals and they had to get their final papers in and stuff like that. And so this is during finals week. And if you think about it, it's a perfect time to do something like this because everybody leaves anyways. And then when they come back, it's like everybody has short-term memory loss. And so she's coming back probably a week after the first, middle of January. You usually get 3 or 4 weeks in college. This is what we got. So she comes back to this in the middle of January and was like, okay, I need to talk to the dean. I need to talk to the housing. Every time I hear something, I get startled and I jump. That's basically what she's saying. So but this right here contradicts everything that we've heard. Everything. Oh my God, I paused her on again when she was eating her quesadilla. I feel bad. I'm sorry there, Jaslyn. Let me just give you a better pick. There you go. Let's see. No. You can see the yellow tags right there, the evidence markers. You can see them. And so look at where that gun is. That gun being placed where it is right there. I don't think you're going to be able to shoot somebody from that position where that gun is. So just interesting. And then right here. Of course, I scanned this parking lot for old Brent's car. And I kind of was gauging where his apartment was. Okay. So his apartment's in the middle, thanks to this video. So look at where his apartment is. All right, right here. Does she take another view? Does she get back a little bit more? But take a look. When she's doing this video of the vehicles. So these are all cars here that are right underneath the middle of the third floor here. These are all cars. And if you go back to compare those cars to where was it? right here. The trucks, like you'd be parking close to that, so you'd walk up the stairs, you know. I'm pegging that silver truck there. It's his vehicle, but it's weird where the tape is. The tape actually keeps that truck outside of it. Also, the vehicles that have snow on them, the vehicles that don't. You see all the way at the end, you see that red car all the way at the end? That red car is then parked in the middle. Okay. That's that red car all the way down there. But anyways. From my view, it looks like a blue. Is it a black or a blue truck? Anyways. Do you see the silver gray Elantra? Yeah. Sure do. There's one of those. I believe there's a white one. Also, you can park out front of the apartments. So, but this is the shot immediately after. I don't know if there's a shot where you can see the apartments from the front of it immediately after. But the window that was blown out that's interesting to me. But at the end of the day, like I said, we have the Nashville shooter immediately after with a cop shooting, and we have nothing with this. I mean, how can we not? And I mean, so I guess I'm gonna go hard and try to get this because I would think people would want to see this. And I guess how can they keep it? How are they keeping it from anybody? The 911, all that stuff. That's all public. If it's not an open and active investigation, I mean, you would think the Nashville one was, but when you're being transparent, you have nothing to hide. You just release the stuff. So they can blur stuff out if they think that something's, whatever. But how I understand that this should look is that a couple shots were taken from inside, and then they said, but I would like to know who he would be shooting at. I want to know who he tried to shoot at. And again, I want all the timestamps. I know that Jay for Justice put out the audio. I'll listen to some of that. I had to dissect to see what if anything had been altered in terms of them redacting anything. Lana, when did this article video publish? February 6th, 2023. They have it listed as an active investigation, so that's why no one can get info on it. Yeah, but I would think that 100%, that's exactly what they're doing. And they're probably going to write it out. Like I said, I put in for guys so much footage that I'm getting in May. They told me I would have in May because everything was so backed up, but that I would have all my requests from WSU and Moscow in May to June. And we did these requests in December. And then hard in January after the arrest. I'd have to go look and see how many, like, there. I mean, when I say like, we did a lot, we did a lot. And then I think they gotta, when they see my email come through, oh, that's that truth and transparency, crazy nut. Yeah, put her at the end of the list. No, they can't do that. But they're probably always like, oh man, what does she think that's on this camera? Let me take a look at it first. I was shocked when they said that I couldn't get any of the information that I wanted from the person that called in about the PA stuff, saying that somebody had traveled from PA and was like stalking them or whatever, followed them from here. So when I saw that, I was like, PA, come on, Brian's from PA. I was like, what are the odds? Even though, it was like it'd be like a boy on boy type thing, but you never know, whatever. They said that it was, I couldn't get that because it was pending investigation, pending prosecution. I think that was the word. Yep, they haven't. You're going to get hammered with documents. Yeah, I probably am. Yeah, it's can you imagine us not knowing the names and who lived at this house of the Idaho4? They've been able to manage to keep the names of these two alleged roommates to the point of that. How does nobody know who they are? Can you imagine not knowing Dylan and Bethany right now? Like, how is that possible? How is that possible? It is 2023. What do you think? Interesting there, Austin. In my opinion, I think Brent responded to Brian's post as a case study, quite possibly. The audio says the roommates' names. Then email that to me, but that would be all out everywhere. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Shine louder. Thank you. Pending prosecution of the dead guy? No. Pending prosecution for the Pennsylvania. It was a report that went into Moscow. It was just a report. And I wanted an incident report. I wanted some more information on it. I wanted the body cam footage of who was involved in that Pennsylvania call in from Moscow saying that somebody came from PA and that they had traveled from PA to come there and basically follow them. And it sounded like a X, but I thought to myself, geez, Pennsylvania, hey? Why can't Banfield get a leak for a time of death? Why can't Banfield get a leak on this? I mean, honestly, guys, I have not tried to go balls to the walls with this, but I am now. So we'll see what we can do. Thanks, C. They didn't evacuate the entire building. They were only groups of people here and there. PO radio said, clear that floor or one below, not all. Now, if you were in a building, can you imagine if you were in that building and you get your WSU Cougar alert and it says active shooter, shelter in place? and you're in the building that the active shooter is in. How would you feel about that? I'd be one pissed bitch. Active shooter, last seen in a coffee house. Well, then it's gonna be what? Total paranoia. I mean, I don't know. How do you do that? That's just wild to me. If you're going balls to the walls, go and transcribe the first 10 minutes of the police radio of incident, and you figure some things out that are a bit murky at the moment. That's what I would do. Yes. Nothing like going balls to the walls on a Thursday at 10 a.m. Wow, this is early. Yeah. Well, the people in the building would have certainly heard all of the supposed shots he took before they killed him. Well, that's what this is new. Well, I don't think it's been kind of seen or talked about, but this is one of the girls that live on the first floor.
Back from winter break, many WSU students are excited to get back to their independent lives and homes, but not all of them share this feeling.
Coming back made me very anxious and scared.
Jaslyn Sanchigal is one of many residents living at the Coffee House Apartments. On December 15th of last year, there was a shooting there. The shooter had threatened to kill his roommates and everyone in the building, but was shot by a member of Whitman County's regional SWAT team during a standoff. As residents of the Coffee House Apartments return from break, many are faced with a difficult situation.
To go back, it was just like too much, like gives me a lot of anxiety. I just hear like a lot of bangs. It just scares me.
As you can see, I am here at the Coffee House Apartment, and behind me you can see on the third floor that it is boarded, which is where the standoff happened. And that is only 2 floors above where Sanchigal was at the time. Currently, Sanchigal is in the process of getting out of her lease, reaching out to resources such as the Dean of Students. I tried to get in contact with them to see how they were helping students. However, the office had no openings due to the overwhelming amount of students who also needed help.
I'm kind of just stuck in the lease right now, still trying to figure it out.
Sanchigal is still paying for her rent every month, even though she no longer stays in her apartment. She says the only way she can get out of her lease is by getting deployed on active duty or by subleasing her apartment, which is unlikely due to what happened. I'm Ariel Argel with Murrow News 8.
Bless her heart. So that's what I thought too. If the threat decreased, why do they want to leave? I don't know. I don't know, but why isn't anybody helping them? Why isn't anybody helping these poor girls that are part of the what is it? It's Sigma Chi backwards, so Chi Sigma sorority. So we're gonna find out all about them because I think that they put this out for a reason. And it was like, here, we'll get this to go viral. And then maybe people can help us because, of what they're saying. Like, we don't want to live here. I wanted to know if this girl was living alone too, but yeah, this is just woo. Can't believe there's not more information about this. Can't believe that we know what programs Brian Colbert is watching in jail, but we don't know how the police were notified. I don't know. It's crazy. The landlord has her over a barrel. I'd sue. I'd sue. Yes, that's what we were told. Annie. I called his number the other day. It's still active. His number. Whose number? It's I can't wait to get over there though, because I want to see that angle on where these shots were fired to shoot, and he was shooting at people, and um, I just can't believe that no one has this on record. Nobody knew. Nobody. I mean, even to get stuff like immediately afterwards. I mean, where are all these police scanner chasers, ambulance chaser people? Like, what the heck? Too busy at the Wilson's church. What a nice surprise. Yes. What a nice surprise. Everybody was sleeping. Go get them. I'm going to try. It's just, I mean, it's just sad. It's sad that where are the vets out there not outraged? I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's just crazy. Somebody that goes overseas and fights for this country, makes it out of deployment and, back and struggling with, PTSD and stuff like that, only to then be, you would have known who this person was and what they did for our country. And you would have done everything that you could have to not shoot this man. And to me, it just seems like they did everything other than that. So, but I wanted you guys to hear this story from her. Let's see. From Jaslyn. Feel bad for her. Hopefully she got this all handled. If not, I told her I would help her. And I also told her that I would sublet her apartment. There's the link. I'll take a couple call-ins. Tell me what you think. Try to keep it on this topic. That way we're not all confused. Yeah, that's exactly right, the Richard, right? That's what I feel like. I wrote into Donald Trump and I said, hey, you're doing your comeback. Get on this. If she likes cats, I might have a solution for her. Oh, yes. I want to come on stream, but you could take the link, girl. Oh my God, it's a $550 admission. Right? It's like, wait, what? For you to do what? Run my background? Like, come on. Admin fee. To do what? Should I'm gonna start charging admin fees? Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Can I be
Eddie, how are you?
Can I be incognito?
Yeah, you can do it. You could just take your camera off.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want there. Oh, there you go. You're incognito.
Okay. Okay. I don't have much to add to the Brent Kopacka,
Okay.
but I'll change kind of the topic if that's okay. Although I do believe that Brent Kopacka's situation is suspicious and it's connected somehow.
Yeah. I think it's definitely suspicious.
The most recent leak is probably the ID cards from the sources. And keep that in mind when I say this next interesting bit that I found. So everyone's aware of on December 8th, Nancy Liu was a journalist who was at the 1122 King Road house at night. And there was five agents that went into the house.
Yes.
One with a cowboy hat. Are we aware, is everyone aware that I believe that there's a second occurrence of such a similar situation as that? Does everybody know that?
What do you mean?
Put in chat, like, one, if you're aware that happened twice. I don't know the date, but Lana, can you dig up? Can I mention a different content creator here?
Yeah.
Okay. Conspiracy. Are you familiar?
I've heard.
Can you dig up on her playlist number 56?
Okay.
I don't want to spend.
So you're saying that there was like 2 different times that these
Yeah.
people went in? Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to spread misinformation, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Brian Enton tweeted, and then I believe that, the tweet was removed. This tweet was deleted by the Twitter author, but on that conspiracy playlist number 56, probably about 2/3 or 3/4 into that video, there are federal agents. Well, I don't know who they are. They're plainclothes that go into that house and they come out with large paper bags. While you're digging that up, Lana, I know that Annie was looking for an answer to a question on one of her chats a few days back, and I have that answer.
What was
the
that?
reason? Say again.
What was the question?
Annie wanted to know the reason why Steve Gonsalves said that they didn't have to go upstairs is because law enforcement told him that the killer entered through the slider or the window. That is why he mentioned that they didn't have to go upstairs. That's the reason. The receipt on that is Plunder content creator number 30. Have you pulled up the conspiracy?
Oh, do you want me to? I can. Do you want me to play that?
Yeah, could you?
I don't.
Okay.
I try not to without permission. Is it just like a part of it? Is it because what I can do is I can like
there are agents that come out of that house with paper bags, and it's a different night, if I'm not mistaken. I know it is.
Let me see really quick.
The reason why I've been in these last couple of weeks, I've been kind of you had mentioned earlier in your video this morning that you want to find the source on things because that's important. These last couple of weeks, I've been kind of going back and looking for sources because a lot of these.
How does she spell her channel name? I'm sorry.
Conspiracy. A lot of these rumors, I've noticed people in chat or in comments over the months. A lot of these people will take a rumor and it'll become fact over time. A rumor will. So I wanted to know because you had like a few days back talked about Jack Showalter all of a sudden again.
Hold on one second, Annie. The 10 pieces of evidence came on November. It was the day after. It was on Thanksgiving. They reported it the day after Thanksgiving that it bumped to the 10 extra pieces of evidence. So they would have had to go through that house then, either on Thanksgiving or the day before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But I believe that those 10, like, because I'm just going based on the updates, law enforcement updates, but it was updated in the press release that it went from 103 to 113 pieces of evidence that they took to the lab. What was it? Yeah.
What is the date of Thanksgiving again?
I think it was Thanksgiving was the 24th or 24th, Thursday 24th.
So because I'm on a cell phone, the print is so small. What did Annie say that on Thanksgiving was when those agents?
No, I was just simply she was saying that the paper bags that people came out with, she believes that those are the 10 extra pieces of evidence.
Okay.
So, and I'm saying, well, I can tell you the date of the 10 extra pieces of evidence, which was the day of Thanksgiving. That's when they made that change.
Because it was December 8th when Nancy Lou was reporting.
That makes sense. And then what you're seeing on the 8th, that would be the second time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would make sense.
Because they would have went in before that. Because about the 10 pieces of evidence, but also ISP was back there. I'm curious to know how many times ISP was there to do like with the forensic team. Besides just the initial first day, second day. I'm curious if they went back. I think people don't realize how important these dates are and the order that law enforcement did things by. But law enforcement didn't have any returns on any of their warrants or anything like that. They didn't even have the cell phone towers until after their first press conference with everybody. They got that back on the 17th. So they literally went into that presser with no warrants back. They had put in just for the towers, but they didn't have anything other than any interview that they would have had, anything from a phone if they were able to get into it. But it would have just been all, canvassing, anything from the canvas, people's cameras and stuff like that. But they literally went in blind with that. I don't understand why, because why weren't they immediately starting to do things? I guess you could say, especially how many people were on the case, the stuff being divided up. But I think it's going to be very, very interesting to hear what all the people did that is law enforcement on the 13th, 14th, and 15th, going into that presser. I want to know what these people did on those days.
I'm not trying to make a connection between those ID cards that are suddenly found in Brian Koberger's residence and those paper bags coming out of that home. But just as, I'm not saying it happened this way. I'm not saying it didn't happen this way, but the way my mind works is if I wanted to take 4 strands of hair and a dog hair and an ID card out of that home, I would put it in large paper bags because that's total misdirection, right? So
I think that, removing anything like that, I don't understand why they wouldn't have body cams on, just everything about that. It should be done the same way that anything else was with the ISP forensic team. If you're removing anything from that home, but then you look at, it was an active investigation and an active crime scene, and you got how many people going in there to remove stuff, to give to, none of those belongings, minus the surviving roommates. That wasn't the parents' stuff that they would need immediately or anything like that. So to preserve the investigation, that would trump all it's been. So taking anything out of there, it's all just, it's crazy.
I ended up with pages of notes that I have here. I don't know how much time I have, but it's also interesting because
I hear your notes. I love it.
The best I could research into Jack Showalter driving to Boise at 2 a.m. was from a Read Me the News video. And that video suggests that it originated from a psychic video. And what else? There is a photo of Kaylee's bed from the backyard.
I think Jack Showalter was in the police station all day on that following day. That's what I believe.
I would believe also. I think I don't know.
Whenever it came about that video went viral, I think that he probably called his parents and that they were either down there actually with him or but I think that he spent the majority of day one of whenever he woke up and whatnot of being with the police.
Joe VDOT, he thought he had important information, so he called law enforcement.
Yeah, they didn't even give a shit about talking to him. I can't believe
they wouldn't even return his calls. He forced himself upon them, went to their doorstep and insisted on being interviewed. There's all kinds of interesting videos of Joe talking about that. I think it's on the playlist number 65. I think that's a Plunder. It could be.
Plunder does good work. Plunder usually has receipts too. So Plunder is somebody that tries to keep it factual and respectful. So if Plunder's putting something out, she's definitely getting it from somewhere.
Does anyone know what came out first? The rumor of Jack Showalter going out of country or that he drove to Boise? Because Steve Gonzalez wanted to know Jack's alibi? And did the rumor of him driving for 5 hours that morning to Boise originate because
that came out first? Well, him
pressing-
driving. Period. It was that he went to his parents, and his parents do live in Boise. So, but it was the rumor is that he drove in the middle of the night, like basically after leaving the what do you call it, the grub truck video. That was the rumor, is that he went to his parents like right away. And I think that was hard for people to understand, that who would drive in the middle of the night after like drinking or whatnot. You know, maybe he wasn't drinking.
Maybe he wasn't.
You know, also just like, again, that was just a rumor had it.
And if he wasn't drinking, how come? Right? That's suspicious to me. Like, why would he keep himself sober when everyone else around him was drinking? Did he have something else planned that evening? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
You know, there's, of course, everyone knows, but I came upon this as well in my research. So the University of Idaho page, whatever that is, I'm not sure what they mean by their page, but the photographer's page or something, the photography class, on November 23rd, there was a tripod. No, that's the page date, November 23rd. The tripod behind the house recorded from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. a woman running at 2 a.m. when the truck entered the driveway. And that video was sent to Idaho State Police.
What tripod video?
Well, that's Plunder playlist number 29. Everyone's heard of that tripod in the backyard or something, and that's been for months. But that's my research on that. It's Plunder number 29, and that video again was sent to ISP, Idaho Police.
Well, I'll take a look at those. I'll take a look at video 56. I'll take a look at video 30 and 29.
This is interesting too. I'm sure you know this, Lana, but Fox News interview November 27th, when Lawrence Jones asks Aaron Snell, is the dog any part of the investigation right now?
Aaron Snell doesn't know shit.
His jaw dropped to the floor. And he laughed.
Yeah.
A very uncomfortable laugh.
Yeah. I think he's uncomfortable, period.
So
It's rude.
the interview was going really smooth until that question.
Yeah.
But I got many more, but I know you got other callers in that. So
Well, I think you I love it. I love the notes. Like, that is thorough. That is awesome. You're on it, and I think that that's great. You're a great caller.
well, thank you.
Would love to hear more of what you think. So make sure you hit that link button again the next time. Okay.
Can I throw one more out there?
Sure.
Okay, thanks. So on December 30th, the press conference following Brian Kohlberger's arrest. So Lauren Patterson asked, is the community safe, or is law enforcement still on the search for another suspect or suspects? Mm-hmm. And the answer was, what I can tell you is that we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes, and I do not believe the community. I'm sorry. I do believe the community is safe, mm-hmm. But isn't it unusual that he would say that the person committed these crimes?
Yeah, he was saying that basically, how I understood it. I think did he mention something about this is the person that they allowed us to arrest for the murders of the 4 Idaho students.
Well, I mean, it should be allegedly committed these crimes, because if he's committed the crimes, then why even have a trial? Why not? Let's just go lynch him right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I want to hear other callers. But
yeah, I think I'll go back and listen to the language there. We all know that Fry struggles with press conferences, and
could just be it could be.
Yeah, I don't try to judge anybody for that. It's more like I just why are you misleading the public? And they did that when they didn't have to, and stuff like that. Like, that's just not normal. You
Well-
don't have to say anything at all. You don't owe it to the public to say anything, right? So just don't say anything. Why would you? You don't want to ever give a reason for someone not to trust the cops. That's all, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's better to say we're not going to put that out than to
Yeah,
deliberately lie,
exactly.
'cause your credibility then has been compromised. Like
100%.
Judge Judy says, if you lied to me in your answer, then why do I believe you now today?
Yeah, 100. Well, thank you so much, Eddie. But like I said, next time click that link. And then, like I said, I will. I'll look into this, and then I will definitely have an episode where I can address this type of stuff. So I think that's great. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for hitting the link.
Well, thank you.
All right, hon. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. Okay, girl. What's up?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Annie. How are you? You're live with Truth and
I'm
Transparency.
good. How you doing? Can you
Good.
hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I wanted to call in. I know Eddie was just talking, and I do remember early in the beginning of the investigation, one of the student groups at the college had made a post about how they were doing a project. That project, they had a tripod set up, like out back, not out back of the King Road house, but out back filming, I guess. And they filmed for 24 hours. I don't know what the student group was. I feel like it was an environmental type group, if I
yes.
remember correctly.
Actually, that's something that's big at that campus. It's like a conservatory. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I remember, I want to say it was right around the end of November, beginning of December is when this student group had made this post about how they had a tripod out back and they turned over all of their footage to the police. But then that post was deleted and never seen again, and it's never been talked about again. So I did want to at least throw that in there that yes, that was something that was posted by a student group at the college, that they did have a tripod set up out back. It was recording from November 12th through November 13th, and they turned over the footage to the police.
Okay.
But I also wanted to call to talk about Brent, because I know that's the topic.
Yes. Well, I took that note to look into that as far as like the tripod goes. Me and tripods,
girl,
we don't get along.
No idea. I have gone into the archive. I've gone into the Wayback Machine. I have tried to find this post.
Yeah.
And I can't find it. And it's pissing me off because I know I remember reading it and I was like, shut the fuck up. Somebody's got a tribe. Oh my God. I believe that's where the earlier reports of supposedly a blonde running out from the back that's where it came from. Was because of that whole, we had footage recording everything.
I've got the post, Lucy. There you go. That's what I was going to figure. I figured that she would have it. She was
wonderful.
She was going ham on social media in the beginning, as was, a lot of people.
Good. I'm glad somebody got it, because I'm like, maybe I'm just crazy, but I distinctly remember reading a post like that where somebody had a tripod set up and they turned it over to the police.
Mm-hmm.
But now, in regards to Brent, right?
Okay.
The Brent
Wait here,
situation.
really quick. Hey, Sleuthy, something I'm working on that I would love to bring you in on. It's a pre-recorded video. It's everything that I got social media wise from the beginning, like right out the rip to present day, as far as, which it was way more back in the day. And I was going to put them all in order and have just like a slideshow that just, that showed all these different clips, but it was going to be in chronological order. So I know that Sleuthy has, a lot of stuff like that. Myself, Bella, we have a ton of stuff like that too. I know Teresa from Criminality and her team has a bunch of stuff. So it's something that that I want to do a chronological thing and have it all together before I leave for Idaho, and be able to play it during while the preliminary is going on, I'm going to have 24-hour feeds going and be able to update. So I'm just prepping on stuff right now so that all can be done and ready for Idaho. As like, it's just going to be crazy when, being there and being able to report and having all that stuff. So I just, you made me think about that when you talked about that old post and the Wayback Machine and stuff like that. So I wanted to, okay, perfect. I will email you. But this is what I love is when people come together for like a common goal, which is not because you believe somebody's innocent or guilty. It's like, how about we just come together because we want to get, justice for the victims, and however the truth falls, like whatever the evidence points you, it points you. So that's the whole point of when you want to work together with somebody, you should be working towards that common goal, not because, oh my God, well, she believes that Brian's guilty or innocent. It's like, I don't believe shit like that. I believe this is a fuck job. So that's what I believe. And I believe that unless people stand up for the truth, these students could go and possibly not get justice. And then the community has to live in fear of like, who could have possibly done this, or what did they have help? And why should anybody live like that? That's crazy. So anyways, go on. It's my rant.
No, I agree with you. I have the same rant. The whole Brent situation worries me.
Yeah.
Because just the way that it was all handled,
it's sad. It's truly sad. Oh God, we lost Annie. Hold on.
With a lot of veterans, and I have for a long time. It's something that I've been doing for like a decade.
Yeah, it's sad. That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but when we have a situation where a veteran who has severe PTSD and a history of things like that, normally, even if SWAT is called in, they are to take every less than lethal measure available to them. So to me, this situation with Brent reads more like a extraction than it does a SWAT raid. That's just my honest opinion on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you think it's interesting that window? Do you think like when you really look at like the building in that window that is blown out versus like the screen door and the bigger window above it and then another above it?
The reason I think the window is like that is because at one point in the scanner audio, so like the scanner audio is the only thing we've gotten from his case. And in the scanner audio, you can hear one of the officers calling for evidence tape. And he was calling for the evidence tape because the subject was throwing things out of the window. So there's a part of me that thinks he probably ripped the screen out himself, busted out the window, right? And he was throwing something out, and they wanted evidence tape because they needed to mark it off to take it in as evidence.
That's just your opinion, right?
Well, I mean, that is just my opinion. Either that
because like
or
you're right. You think that they roped off evidence tape to enclose something that was thrown out?
Well, that's what they were. Yeah, that's what they were calling for on the scanner audio. So one of the officers comes on and asks for someone to bring him a roll of evidence tape because the subject was throwing things out of the window and they needed to collect everything that was on the ground. So I don't know what it was. They didn't say on the scanner audio what it was he was throwing out the window, but they asked for evidence tape because they need to tape off the area and gather up what he threw out of the window as evidence.
Okay.
And if they did take it,
what time did that come over?
I know you. Do you care if I say the other person's name?
Is it Jay?
Jay, exactly.
Yeah, no.
So okay. So Jay put up the video of the scanner audio, and it's towards the end of her video where you can hear them talking to each other, and he's calling for the evidence tape to mark off the things that the subject was throwing out of the window. They needed to tape it off to be able to gather it all.
And do you recall if it was like in the first 10 minutes?
Well, the video that she played isn't that long anyway, if I
Oh,
remember correctly.
is it just
And
clips?
it's towards the end. Yeah, and it's
Okay.
towards the end of the audio.
Okay, I'll listen to the whole thing tonight when I go to bed.
Yeah, it's towards the end.
So I
You'll
can
hear it.
dream.
It's not in the beginning. No, it's not in the beginning of the scanner audio. It's towards the end when everybody is marking themselves out of the call, and like officers are calling in to mark themselves as leaving or marking themselves out of the call, and then one calls in looking for the evidence tape, somebody to bring him a roll of evidence tape. And when you were asking about the rifle and the positioning of the rifle, I will tell you, a good sniper rifle, I myself can hit a target center mass at like 650 yards out.
Yep.
With a sniper rifle. So it's, trust me, these guys.
I'm asking where that was located though. That was out on the street.
Well, yeah, but even so at that point, they already had the tactical vehicles moved into place and nobody was allowed in. So it's actually not uncommon that rifle would have been sitting there during a SWAT situation, because they're not letting anybody in anyway. Nobody's going near that rifle. It's all blocked off by tactical vehicles and cops and shit.
Mm-hmm. And you don't think that was put? You don't think that was put down there afterwards? You think that was a post?
Well, it's hard to tell because of the way the news clips shit together.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
Right. So unfortunately, because we can only go by what
I wish I could start producing the news and stuff. It'd be way better.
We don't even know what time the actual
they don't even know what's important. Like they probably have these news people probably have so much footage they don't even realize is important because they got dipshits going through it. But that's just me.
Well, even so, listen, I went back. This was probably, I don't know, about it was like right after we heard about the SWAT incident. I'm like, wait a minute, let me go and check this shit out. And I'm going back through some of the reports, like out of the local media and stuff. And there was actually one good one. They had like the cover picture of this article was a photo of the police cruiser with the it's all taped off, and you've got the two trucks parked side by side, the darker blue one and the silver one. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, holy shit. Kind of looks like the one in the Banfield body cam, the big jacked up, darker truck, you know? And then there's a buddy of Brent's who posted some things on his Facebook that he tagged Brent in, and this was after the SWAT incident, talking about how he's having a drink with his friend who's up in heaven, and, you know, I got Brent's knife, and Brent has a very interesting knife collection, we'll just say, okay?
Yeah, I remember that.
So there's a lot of things that kind of make me think, and the fact that the officer who shot Brent, supposedly, right? This officer has been cleared. Originally, the case was under investigation, pending the officer involvement. So they needed time to clear the officer. They cleared the officer, and at that point, the case was supposedly done. It's a done deal. But then at some point, this case was like reopened. It's placed under active investigation. Nobody can get anything on it except the scanner audio. And, you know, it was being talked about even in like he's a protected person. Subject is a protected person.
Yep, I remember that.
So it makes me wonder, right, if
they immediately said that these two incidents were not related, had nothing to do with one another. And I'm just thinking to myself, awesome. So then that means that's in discovery that you went through this to know that. So I can't wait. Ann Taylor should have all this because that's part of your investigation that you were able to clear.
Right. How they determine that it's not part of it? How?
Yep. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to, you know, Ann Taylor, if you were out there, she has to have this, like, because they're not part of it. It's not part of it. Well, okay. How can you say that? Well, you must have investigated it to clear something like that, but you did it so quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's what I mean. How would you
She needs
even
to put
say?
reasonable doubt. So reasonable doubt is you got to go find somebody else, right, that did
But
this.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, if he is the right guy, okay, I get it. Her job is to defend him and place
Mhm.
a reasonable doubt. I don't want to see the person who, if he did do this, walk on some technicality bullshit. Okay, but I also don't want to see an innocent person get the damn death penalty for something
Yeah.
they didn't do.
Yep.
You know, and if there's others involved, I don't care who it is. I
Yeah.
don't care if they're military. I don't care if they're protected people. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Whoever
whoever
else
thought
is
that they can be
involved.
part of something like this is sick, and they need to be held accountable.
Well, here's the thing that gets me. You can go back to the very early interviews with the parents before the gag order, and Mr. Gonzalez himself says she has a good alibi. She has a strong alibi. Who's the she?
Who's the she? And she's not part of the inner circle.
Right. So I'm going, wait a minute. Now people are saying, oh, Brent was security, blah, 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 WSU. Who says who? No one has confirmed that. We've got no confirmation of why a 36-year-old veteran with severe PTSD would be living in student housing.
That's who I think. I think the girl might be one of them.
Bingo.
That's who I think.
Bingo. So you hear where, you know, there's the thing that bugs me with the whole Brent situation is if Brent is not involved. He had nothing to do with it. Okay. I also don't believe in coincidences. There's too many coincidences in this case for it not to have some kind of involvement. I don't know how, you know, I have already told you, and I know you probably think I'm crazy and you laugh at me when I say it, but I'm telling you that
I don't think
damn,
you're crazy. I love you. We're all going mad now.
Well, it bugs me because that corner club still photo, right? That everybody's like, it's Jack D. It's
Oh,
Jack
yeah,
D.
that's right.
Okay,
You don't think it's Jack D.
Jack D has never given a statement at all as to where he was. And it was Kaylee's parents who said
He's going to
he
be
left
on that
early.
stand.
He left early that night. Okay, so even if he was there, he left early. That person in that picture, as far as I'm concerned, is Brent. And if Brent was speaking to Maddie and that is him in that picture, how does he know these kids? And will the bank warrants that they got tie him? Is that why his case is still under investigation? Maybe they cleared it too soon and then figured out after, oh shit, we have his name on some stuff here on some of the financials. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you got 4 kids here, and then 4 to 6 redacted others.
Whoever was the 6th roommate is who I believe Mr. Gonsalves is talking about.
That's who I believe he's talking about as well.
And then it would, because it's like,
I agree with you.
And then, oh, she had a good alibi, you know, something like that. You know, that's what makes the most sense because of the time frame that it was said, and that was the same time frame of the police talking about, we are aware that there was a 6th roommate and they, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I look at it as, okay, we've got 4 kids here, along with 4 to 6 redacted others who've had over 20 bank warrants issued for their names, as well as warrants for the Department of Labor. Okay, these aren't warrants for Brian. These are warrants for the kids and others, right? Who are these 4 to 6 redacted others? What's going on with the Department of Labor warrants? Why would they? There seems to be something of financial significance involving these children. And for me, I'm not judging them, right? This isn't coming from a judgmental, if this were my child, I don't care how bad it is. You tell me. I want to know.
Yeah.
The whole secrecy behind everything.
I couldn't imagine ever talking to one of my roommates' parents to be like, this is everything I know. This is what we were doing. Oh my God. Like, you know, I'd want like everybody involved. I just couldn't imagine. I just would, especially all the time that has gone by now. So
Well, that's what makes me so upset. These poor parents, they can't say anything. They can't talk to anybody because of a gag order. But Banfield over here can get leak after leak after leak on nothing significant. Can you get a leak for the time of death? Can you get a leak for where Kaylee and Maddie's phone exactly is? Why her family doesn't have it? Why did Olivia have to use her own device to get into Kaylee's stuff? Where are the phones? Well, what's the actual time of death? Because we still haven't been given that. And I don't understand why there's nothing by telling the public and the families the time of death that's going to interfere with your case.
I think that they had to say hush hush on that because of what the ME was going to say. That's my opinion on that.
I'm going to be very interested to hear exactly liver temps, rigor. How far set in was the rigor mortis, right? Because we're talking an 8-hour 911 call delay. At that point, you're going to have rigor setting in. There should be like some kind of fly larva present. There's going to be things going on with the bodies themselves that are going to tell you an exact time of death. And if the time of death doesn't match up with the 4 to 4:20 a.m. time, we have a problem. And that means that potentially the people who actually did it were not caught.
What bank is that at, Misty? Is that the Banner Bank? David Banner. Have you ever seen a Chevy with a butterfly nose? I want to know that answer. Phone isn't evidence. Time of death won't be down to a minute. It's within a range. Yes.
No, I understand that. I'm well aware.
Yeah, she understands that. Yeah, I was just.
What I'm saying is that, okay, we're being told that this crime occurred between 4 and 4:25 a.m. Okay.
Misty, you don't know off the top of your head. I call BS.
If it comes back,
I'm just kidding.
we know the phone stopped being used at 2:52, right?
Yeah.
So what if it comes back that the time of the crime, the time of death is actually between 2 and 3 a.m.?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And when was it? I don't remember reading anything about the phones being taken into evidence.
I've never heard of a damn case where you don't take the damn victim's
The only
cell
phones
phones as part of the time of the crime. Okay, the time of the crime.
And the only phones we know that had a download done of them, the dump, was for the 2 surviving roommates. Nowhere in that paperwork does it say that the victims' phones were dumped as well. And if I remember correctly, Mr. Gonzalez, in an interview with Fox, said that he broke into the phones, plural, for law enforcement.
Yeah, he broke into them. I think he broke into them because you can do it from like your computer, so you can get online and look at that. That's.
But here's my point, Lana. Why would they need him to break into the phones if they have the phones?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you would also be telling people not to do certain things. Like, no, we have it. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on what they needed so quickly. And all that's going to come out when they're asked that, because if they did it by themselves before law enforcement, ever even knew that they did that. I just want the surroundings of it. I want the whole backstory on how that even happened. I mean, my ass. We can all say what we would have done, but I get a phone call like that, I'm driving straight to where I need to be. And
for sure.
I'm breaking door down, I'm breaking every door down. I'm asking a million questions. I would, like I've already said it, I'm that type of person that wouldn't have been in that shock where I would have fell to my knees. I would have been in disbelief. I would have been in denial that there's no way. I just talked to my kid, like, you guys got it wrong type of stuff.
Right. So now that's what I've kind of questioned from the beginning too. When the earlier statements.
But I gotta wrap this up, love. I have to go to. I'm gonna go to lunch, but I am gonna go. I didn't realize it. I was like, holy shit! I've been at 2 hours. But I agree with everything that you're saying. I totally agree. I mean, I just think it's like, it's. There's just so much to like. to go through all this stuff, like that's why I think with the preliminary hearing, I'm just curious. I want to see how Ann Taylor goes about this. I'm just from a learning standpoint of,
I'm curious to find out exactly who called Ethan's siblings over to the house and why.
yeah, I think in college though, and even like, you know, kids just start calling, oh my God, get over here, you know, get over here, like stuff like that. Like that to me, like would spread like wildfire. That's why I just can't believe like who was rolling tape. I mean, come on, like none of these people are recording from their like that footage that they have on the white Elantra. If that footage does not have everything that happened that morning with people coming over or whatever time they did, it's constant movement. So there's going to be like constant stuff. I want to see what the heck was going on that whole morning. Like, well, once it all like unfolded that afternoon and everything, you're going to see
it's incredibly bothersome. Well, that's what I mean. It's incredibly bothersome that you have multiple people already on scene long before 911 is ever called. I just don't.
I need a nurse. Freckled. I need a nurse. You're going to be our nurse. Thank you so much. All right, we'll see you in Idaho.
I hope you have I hope you have a wonderful lunch and a wonderful day.
Yes, I have to come back. I got to work on some motions and crazy crap like that. But I will be live later. I'm actually putting one of my own court things up and on the channels that way, because I have to watch it anyways and I have to take notes. So I'm just gonna let it run. It's like an 8-hour hearing. So if you guys want to see one of my court hearings, feel free to watch along. But anyways, I'll post a notification on that. I'll be posting a notification to finish up this part 2. But go back and watch the beginning, guys. Tell me what you think about the video that I posted and the thoughts of, okay, did they clear the building where Brent was? Now, allegedly, he was threatening to kill everybody in the building. But yet there was somebody on the first floor that was there when the gunshots went off. So, and she heard everything from her first floor room. Also, this video has pictures of the apartment complex relatively after, like in February, end of January, and look at the cars and see if you notice anything compared to the cars that were there. So anyway, see if you can find, let me know, email me, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up or hit the thumbs down. You have an opinion, make it known. Again, you guys are great. Thank you for Eddie came on here. Annie, did I only get to 2 callers? I swear there was 3. Oh my God, Bridget didn't even get to come here. Bridget was backstage. Bridget, I will kick things off with you later if you come back. Blame Annie and Eddie. So, but you guys are great. Always kind, always amazing in chat, and you guys have great conversations. Thank you to the mods for being here. All right, I'm gonna go get my Thursday happy hour lunch on, cause I can. Mod squad, Mike drop in. Who else is in here? Boston was in here earlier. All you sexy things. I mean, I think I have the smartest and the sexiest chat. I'm not gonna lie. Your guys' little avatars are smoking fire. All right, guys, take care. Till next time. TNT home team.